Hi, this is Les-Levine, the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Ohio sports. Well, the Browns apparently have seen enough of Antonio Callaway. Earlier today, they decided to release him. I got an email today from somebody who was not happy with the situation because Callaway was just one of many John Dorsey's attempts to make a reach with a non-character type player. The emailer wanted to know why Dorsey is not taking as much heat as Freddie-Kitchens for what's going on around here, but there's an obvious answer. Number one, Dorsey has a much better resume than Kitchens, and he has the ears of Jimmy and Dee Haslam. Kitchens' mistakes are really obvious. Play calling, clock management, wins and losses. Dorsey doesn't deserve to be equal with Kitchens. He just needs to answer a few questions. We've got Dave Bacon with us. More Sports and Les-Levine is on the air. From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Les-Levine on a Thursday night, good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to More Sports and Les-Levine into its 24th consecutive season. This is a bullpen game tonight. Dave Bacon, the noted pitcher, is with us. I don't know who you're noted by lately, but a great pitcher back in the day.
Way back in the day.
Well, if you wait long enough, there's nobody around that can remember one way or the other. Thank you for filling in for me last week.
Glad to.
So did you learn anything? That Hoynes is fabulously funny?
And it's really hard to disguise talking about how bad the Browns are or how they're going to improve without saying the same thing every day.
Yeah, well, they got a chance to make some friends tonight. I know it's late in the season, but it's a winnable game.
It is, and, you know, in reality, it's a game they should win. You're facing Mason-Rudolph. Mason-Rudolph is your quarterback.
One more time.
Now, you did lose to Brandon Allen, but it's Mason-Rudolph. You need to beat the Steelers with Mason and a banged-up James Conner. James Conner's supposed to play. They don't know how long.
He missed 2 games.
Right, and it's still a significant shoulder injury.
Right.
So any good hit, he could be done for the rest of the night. And again, the Steelers...
Well, you don't want to play toward injuring anybody.
No, but it's a physical game, and if he's going to carry the ball, he's going to get hit.
And let him play next week.
Yeah.
He should stay out another week.
Exactly. But, again, they're finding a way to win. Good teams find a way to win.
Yeah.
Bad teams find a way to lose. That's all I'll say.
Somebody said when the Browns were 2-4, was that possible they were 2-4? Yeah. Before they lost to New England. Somebody told me as they made mistake after mistake, 2-4 teams are 2-4 teams for a reason. Yeah. You stick any 2-4 team and into a game, and those bad things are going to happen.
Yeah, and that's how they get to be 2-4.
Yeah,
because you're not doing the things that add up to wins. If you look at it on paper, the Steelers should not be competitive with the Browns. Now, their defense is really good,
right,
and that's going to create some issues for the Browns offense because of the offensive line. No, but they find a way to win because they realize what their personnel is, how to hide what they don't have, and how to accentuate what they do have. And that's what coaching is.
And by the way, they have a really good coach.
Yeah, but keep in mind, he was taking a beating last year, at the end of the year, based on the Antonio Brown mess and the Le'Veon Bell mess that was going on, and Ben Roethlisberger wasn't happy, and so Tomlin was taking a beating in the media last year, but he finds a way to win.
Yeah, he does. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. If you'd like to get in, you could also email us during the show at reallesslevine@gmail.com. All right, the Browns made a move today. Antonio Callaway, I don't know what took him so long, but they waited, and today they released him.
Yeah, there's talk that he was going to be suspended 10 games, and he was appealing it, so too much issues. I don't know why they continued to use him. You saw pretty quickly he's late coming out of breaks, didn't know where he was supposed to be. It was pretty obvious. They gave him every opportunity, and he didn't. Just kept throwing it back. Now, you know what? Now they're forced to play Higgins as the third receiver.
You shouldn't be forced to play him.
But they are.
I mean,
I know. I agree.
They threw the ball to him to win the game the other day and said, I forgot who that number, that 80, who's that 81 guy?
And he was wide open.
And wide open.
Wide open. Where he was supposed to be.
We think. Or Baker threw it behind him and it got to him.
The ball got there when it was supposed to be. It looked like it was by design for the first time in the red zone in a while.
Do you remember, I think you're way too young to remember, when Pittsburgh fans used to come here on Saturday nights? When did you start watching the Browns?
It's probably early 70s.
Okay, so in the 60s they used to come here and they'd be carried out with their yellow raincoats to the nearest waiting bus to take them to some verse at the Browns now.
You know, the one thing is, coaching tends to do that. I mean, the problem with the Browns is they're not putting their people in the best light to succeed. And you know, everybody wants to know what the problem is with the red zone. The Browns don't know who they are. A team that continually does the same thing and gets the same results that aren't positive.
It's insanity.
And they don't know who they are.
All right, so let me...
9 games into a season, you should know your personality.
You should know. Are you suggesting that Freddie and the offensive people are coming up with an offense and trying to force feed it in, square peg into a round hole, as opposed to saying, all right, here's what we have. These guys can do this, this, and this. Let's find a way to use them.
I think what it is they're kidding themselves about their offensive line. You know, you're trying to run the ball inside the red zone. Nick-Chubb's a fantastic back. Everything's compressed in the red zone, and the offensive line's weaknesses are magnified.
Well, Chubb is a great back, and they're coming in. Hunt is coming in at the exact right time.
Yeah. So you have to find a way to minimize what you're lacking on the offensive line, especially in the red zone.
Let me go back to what I said at the beginning about John Dorsey maybe reaching on certain cases, certain players, questionable character. Has he done that too much with the Browns?
No, you know what? I don't think so. I think John Dorsey's looking, the team was devoid of talent. Team's not devoid of talent right now. The problem is you got talent. You got to figure out how to use it. Talent doesn't matter if you can't figure out how to use it. And you especially have to figure out how to use it to get after the quarterback, which they aren't doing. And, how frustrating is it to see Brandon Allen making his first NFL start have time to throw? You
know what concerned me more?
I don't get that.
What concerned me more is the fact that I knew, and you probably knew, and everybody in the audience probably knew, that was a quarterback draw play just waiting to happen. Yeah. And they had no clue, and he just walked in.
Yeah. Again, the mistakes they're making are because they don't know who they are. They don't know what the weaknesses of this team is, or they're not willing to admit it. 9 weeks into the season, you know what you got, you know where you have to hide things, and you know what you have to accentuate to be successful. The good teams know how to do that.
Are you suggesting maybe the coach isn't savvy enough to be able to do that?
Or they're just kidding themselves.
Yeah.
Are you kidding yourself that, this guy is good on the offensive line has not been good.
All right, last chance to talk about the Browns-Steelers game before the game. That starts at 8:20 tonight. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Here's the stat of the night, though. Did you know there are over 238,000 winners of the Ohio Scratch-Offs each and every day? With that amount of winning, stop by your local retailer. Try your luck on any of the popular holiday-themed Scratch-Offs from the Ohio Lottery. You can also follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/more-sports-and-les-levine. New content is posted each and every day. We'll get your picture up there or your words each and every day at facebook.com. Coming up is Freddie-Kitchens' job on the line. Dave, we ask you that first, or you get to hold off on it?
We'll wait.
We'll wait.
We'll call that a tease.
I'm waiting also. Back in a moment, More Sports and Les Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
Presque Isle Downs and Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs and Casino.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had two choices. I was accepted into a four-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C, they transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
This portion of More Sports and Les-Levine brought to you by Northeast Factory Direct. Let's take a look. He's smiling. That guy on the left is smiling because why, Dave Bacon?
Because he
400,000, 400 million reasons.
He knows in a couple years he's got lots and lots and lots of money.
I was telling Brian in the back room, we keep him in the back room all week, about Jimmy Pearsall, which I'll get to in a moment. Carry Out Groceries, born in 1947, Jack Sikma, Portland Trailblazers, Kurt Schilling, T.Y. Hilton, Francisco Lindor, seen on the left, a soon-to-be former Cleveland Indian. I hate to say that.
That's a pretty decent birthdays. And the other thing is, keep in mind, you know, you've got the whole labor situation coming up in 21. So we'll see.
Yeah. I was telling him about Jimmy Pearsall, great defensive center fielder. Fear Strikes Out, the movie was based on him. And he played with Ted Williams, the left fielder, and Jimmy Pearsall was center fielder, Jackie Jensen in right. So Pearsall gets traded to the Indians in 58 or 9. And they used to have doubleheaders every Sunday. And Pearsall's family was left in Boston. So he made a standing reservation to get airplane tickets to go Cleveland to Boston every Sunday afternoon. So what he would do is get himself thrown out of the game. Second inning.
So you go pick up.
So you go, okay, see you guys. I'm out of here. So the manager figures it out after about 4 weeks of this, and as they exchange lineup cards between games, he says to the umpire, "Listen, Pearsall's going to try to get thrown out. Whatever you do, do not, under any circumstances, throw him out." So Pearsall's in the on-deck circle, and he didn't like a call on the previous batter, and he starts yelling at the umpire from the on-deck circle. Umpire listens, takes off his mask, listening. Manager comes out to protect Pearsall in case there's any jostling for positions. And the umpire threw the manager out. Pearsall had to play the whole game. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. All right, this you watch sports long enough and you hear stats that are just unbelievable. Here's one that's unbelievable. The last 6 Browns coaches, not interim coaches, the last 6 regular coaches who've been fired, they've been fired after the Steelers game. Let's take a look. Hugh Jackson is right there.
The thing that jumps out about that is 336 and 1.
Doesn't matter who they played when they fired him. You don't think they waited till the Pittsburgh game, do you? Last game.
It was the 36th loss.
Yeah, that does it.
Them.
We're done. October 28th, 2018, at the Steelers. They lost 33-18 in that game. 2-5-1 was the record at that point. Wow. Game note, Mayfield 22. Well, he had a good day. Here you go, Mike Patton, his career with the Browns, 2014, 2015.
You know what? I
10-22.
always felt bad for Mike Patton, who's now the defensive coordinator.
No chance.
He was tied to Johnny Manziel, and he clearly didn't want Johnny Manziel.
Well, here's the question I want to know. The game note is that Manziel missed the game due to a concussion. How did anybody know? No, that's not nice. Not nice at all. Let's look at the next coach fired after the Steelers game.
1 year.
Yeah, Chudzinski was 4-12. Last game of the year, of course, was against Pittsburgh. Josh Gordon finished the season NFL high, 1646 reception yards. That's pretty good. Never duplicated it.
Yeah, can't stay on the field.
Let's continue down the rogues gallery of Browns coaches. Pat Shurmur, who's about to get the axe.
9-23.
Yeah, he's about to get it in with the Giants in 2011 and 12. At the Steelers, what was his last game?
Yep.
They lost. 24-10. 5-11 for the season. 4 turnovers, 3 fumbles, lost. That's not good. Let's continue on. the Browns list. Eric Mangini,
10-22.
10-22.
That's not bad by these standards, huh?
They lost 41-9 in his last game.
Colt McCoy.
Was that the concussion game?
No, I think the concussion game was
Washington?
Yeah, it was Washington. So 19 yards rushing, though. He's the leading rusher.
Your point? Let's continue on. Let's see what we have. Romeo.
Well, look at him. He's almost.
How did he make it 4 years?
He's almost he doubled the win total of the other guys.
How about
24
this?
and
The
40.
game, listen, look at this. 26 yards total passing. Second fewest in franchise history. And the Josh Cribbs threw a pass in that game, and so did Rob Chudzinski. Not Rob Chudzinski. Was it Rob? No.
It was Rob.
Chudzinski. No. Gradkowski.
Oh, Bruce.
Bruce Gradkowski.
Yeah.
Heard him on 92.3 The Fan today.
You know what? You look at those numbers and you wonder where the Browns-Steelers rivalry went.
Well, you
That'll
can see,
tell you.
Pittsburgh thinks it's Baltimore and Pittsburgh. They don't think Cleveland at all. All right, so how much is on the line for Freddie-Kitchens tonight?
He has some time still. I mean, I think Dorsey is sharp enough to know you can't, fire the DJs and change the format again, as the old radio saying would go.
I can't picture Dorsey spinning the hits. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Dave Bacon is with us. Hoynesy had to. Hoynesy down at the winter meetings tonight. Maybe some news will come. Do you expect Lindor to get traded now?
No, I don't expect him to get traded this year, to be honest with you. I think they're going to get I think Antonetti is very sharp, and I think he's proven he's kind of on the cutting edge and understands where the trends are going and what's happening. And I think you want to find out what's going to happen labor-wise before you do that.
Yeah, and one other thing. I think they can still compete with the Minnesota Twins.
Sure. Well,
and if so, why not?
The name that is floating out there that they may be interested in is an outfielder named Mitch Herringer for the Mariners. Had a bad year last year, got injured in June. Before that was a pretty good power hitting, put up a couple of years where he was pretty good power hitting right fielder, was good enough that they played him occasionally in center. So that's the kind of guy, if you can get him cheap enough, that's the kind of guy that you would do coming off a down year.
And then they get to say, wow, is that Antonetti sharp?
Exactly. And, in fairness, last year, the guys that they traded for or signed like that did not pan out. That's why their offense was so bad at the beginning of the year. So this is a Indians kind of guy. Mitch Herringer has got to keep an eye on. I think he's 28.
Northeast Factory Direct has over 300 sets of mattresses right on hand for immediate delivery. Also 50 sofas at around $3.99 and solid wood bunk beds sets just $2.99. Check them out at the three great locations, east, west, and south. But before you go anywhere, go to northeastfactorydirect.com. The other locations, of course, West 140th, that's on the west side, Lakeland Boulevard in Euclid, that's the old B&B appliance store, and of course in Macedonia now on Freeway Drive, all three, you're going to pay 50% or more than that off whatever they've got in the store. Check it out. Northfield Park, your home for live and simulcast racing. On Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, post time is 6 p.m. for live racing. Saturday and Sunday at 6:40. They've got open at noon almost every day for simulcast action to all the tracks all over the world. Check them out at Northfield Park. And on Sundays, of course, you got the contest, the handicapping contest. Somebody's going to win $500 in cash each and every week. We'll come on back in a moment. We'll take a look at the offensive preview. Browns versus Steelers. When we get back, Dave Bacon with us. More Sports and Les-Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
There was moisture in the basement. It ruined the carpeting. The smell was terrible. We didn't feel safe in our own basement, and that's when we called Nature Stone.
And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your basement flooring again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of November and save up to half off. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
National Holidays expert Mary here with a list of holidays you won't want to miss. Get your Ohio Lottery Merry Million scratch-offs for National Donut Day, National Have a Party with Your Bear Day, Pickle Day, National Unique Talent Day, Take a Hike Day, and America's favorite, National Jukebox Day. Every day is a reason to celebrate. Grab a Merry Millions and other Ohio Lottery holiday scratch-offs today.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
This segment of More Sports and Les-Levine brought to you by Tri-C. Here you go, classic How Come Quickie. How come we sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game when we're already there?
Because you want to stay there.
Well, then say, take me out to the ball game, then let's stay.
It doesn't sound right.
It's pretty easy.
It doesn't sound
pretty
right.
easy. Steelers playing the Browns tonight. Question is, who's got the offensive advantage? You got Mason-Rudolph at quarterback on one side, and you've got Baker-Mayfield on the other. So let's take a look at what's gone on. Somebody asked me how the wagering people come up with over and under. Well, look at the first one. You got 21 points and 19 points. Add them together, that's 40. Guess what tonight's over-under is?
40?
20. No, it's 40.
40, yeah.
Yards per game.
That doesn't surprise me.
Browns 348 yards per game. Passing yardage 224 to 205. Rush yardage 123 to 83. And that 123, in an ideal win for Cleveland tonight, you need that number up between both guys, between Chubb and Hunt. You got to get it up to 260, 270, something like that.
Well, you know, the one thing is the Steelers' defense is why they're winning. And it isn't their offense. Rudolph isn't turning the ball over, which, again, I don't understand how you can face the quarterbacks the Browns are facing. Brandon Allen, even Josh Allen last week, Mason Rudolph. You should be blitzing him. They should be starting to blitz him right now. Now.
Whenever the Browns over the years are facing a team with a new quarterback, you always hear how they're going to throw the kitchen sink at him. I don't mean the freddie-kitchens sink, but the Browns don't seem to do that when they get the opportunity.
No,
they lay back for some reason.
Yeah, it's almost like they're afraid of giving up the big play, and it's like, no, make this quarterback make a big play.
You talk about Mason Rudolph and Baker-Mayfield. Let's take a look. They've faced each other 3 times in college. Here you go, 185 completions out of 309 for Mayfield, 131 of 203. Wow. Baker with 2,200 yards and Rudolph 1,330. And 11 touchdowns, though, 9 for Baker. 4 interceptions versus 12, which is an ugly, ugly stat.
Yeah, you don't like seeing that because turnovers have been one of the things that the Browns' offense has. That's one of the reasons that they are where they are at 3-6 is the turnovers and the inability to score when they get the ball inside the 20-yard line. Those are 2 things that typically bad teams do and good teams don't do.
Exactly. Let's take a look at the running game. The Browns should have the edge on that. Conner is back. James Conner missed the last 2 games. They say he's going to be back. We don't know how well he's going to be tonight.
They said the thing that I've heard is that they're not going to ride him the way they normally do. He's usually a guy that they like to give the ball quite a bit. They'll still use Samuels and their other back to kind of lighten his workload a little bit.
Chubb could be at the 1,000-yard marker tonight. He's at 919, 380 for Conner. Nick-Chubb with 174 carries, the workhorse, versus 97.
Connor's missed a couple, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
The one thing is, Steelers' defense is pretty good, and the Browns still haven't figured out how to stop the run.
Great point.
You've changed defensive coordinators, you've changed personnel, and it's still tight ends down the seam and running game, power running game. And, that's the thing that concerns you with the Steelers.
Sure.
Vance McDonald and James Conner.
One of my favorite names in football is Juju-Smith-Schuster against Beckham. Let's take a look. Doesn't that look like Beckham has the helmet trying to get it over his head and he can't quite do it? Almost looks that way. All right, so Beckham 44 receptions versus 36 for Juju. 503 yards versus 632. You think they're not throwing to him or using him. Those are pretty good numbers against a real quality receiver for Pittsburgh who's had to pick up extra reps.
Well, keep in mind, he hasn't had Roethlisberger. He's had
That's also
Mason-Rudolph is his quarterback for a while.
14 yards and 14 and a half on the average reception. And Beckham with only 2 touchdowns and Smith-Schuster with 3.
Again, the Browns have to find a way to get Beckham, Landry, Chubb, and Hunt the ball in space. That's what good offenses do. What's your idea? You can't do them all. No. So what's your ideal one? To me, it's Beckham. He's a game changer. Well, it depends. The thing that should be happening is one of those 4 guys you should be able to find or isolate schematically on each and every play. Yeah, you can't have 4 guys covering 4 guys. They haven't been able to figure it out. Do they not see it? I don't know. They got to see it. Come on. I don't know. It's got to be something schematically. They're not built to do what they need to do. It comes down to. I mean, I've watched every game this year, and I've watched it pretty closely. I can't tell you what this offense is trying to do. I can't either. They're trying to run power run game. Offensive line isn't good enough to do that. All right. Tell me if you think they've self-scouted themselves to know when and when not to throw the challenge flag. I don't know. Sometimes you just got to pick it up. Yeah, and I mean, in order to do that, especially before the 4th quarter, you better be pretty sure you're going to win it. Right, and I think there have been 50-50. So many of them have been 50-50 at best. I think Freddie is like us watching the game at home where we're hoping we're going to get the call, and you don't. And they don't they've sort of made it a mandate among themselves not to overturn calls on the field. Well, I don't know. I think it has to be pretty egregious, and none of the things that he's challenged have been egregious. They really haven't. They might have been good enough in real time to be called. Right. But not after a penalty, not after you throw the flag. No, and it's not something where you look at it and you go, "Oh, we blew that." That's almost what it has to be now for the officials to overturn it. It has to be, "Boy, we blew that call. Yeah. Let's make it right." Although a couple times they've made it good on the next series, right? They never do that. You're watching the same game I am. Yeah. You've seen it. Explore your interests and find a program at Tri-C that puts you on the path to a bright future. Tri-C offers more than 1,000 courses and over 140 career and technical programs. Go to tri-c.edu for more information. When we come back, we'll take a preview of the defensive teams of both the Browns and the Steelers. More Sports and Les-Levine continues with Dave Bacon, exclusively on cleveland.com.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had 2 choices. I was accepted into a 4-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. They transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery, partners in education, where stars shine.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
it takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
This segment of More Sports and Less Levine brought to you by Northeast Factory Direct with 3 great locations. This date in sports history, terrible day, 14th of November, 1970. The plane carrying Marshall University football players, coaches, staff, crew, and fans crashed. 37 people died. The movie We Are Marshall was based on this tragic event.
People don't realize how good that program was at that point in time. It was, it was
Absolutely.
among the elite.
Absolutely.
And, yeah.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. All right, let's take a look at the Browns and the Steelers defensively and see what we've got as we compare them. Pittsburgh giving up 20.1 yards points per game. Cleveland at 24.5 yards per game. 333 versus 356. Yards passing, 226 given up by Pittsburgh, and 221, pretty even right there, by the Browns. Then you've got rushing yards per game, and the Browns winning that battle, 134 to 105, and turnovers, 26 turnovers by Pittsburgh. Wow.
That's how a team with very little talent on the field right now has the record they have.
Yeah, but they got a guy named Minkah-Fitzpatrick, and I think he's doing fairly well.
Well, they traded for him. He was with the Dolphins to start the
Gave up the first
season.
rounder. Look at that, 34 tackles. This is in 7 games with the Steelers, but this is an incredible stat. 5 interceptions in those 7 games, a forced fumble, a recovery, and 2 defensive touchdowns.
You know why? He's thrilled. He thought he was going to be on an 0-16 or 1-15 Dolphins team, and he was freed.
He's freed, and sure, it's warm down there, but you don't want to play with those guys all the time. Somehow they've come up with 3 wins, though.
I know.
I don't know how that is.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at T.J. Watt with the more famous brother, 31 tackles.
This is the guy that Browns fans need to be concerned about tonight because I see lots of T.J. Watt in the backfield with this offensive
Look at
line.
that, 13 tackles for losses, 9.5 sacks on the year, 4 forced fumbles, 3 recoveries, and a pick 6.
Here's my question.
Yep.
If I was going to give you the option between Myles Garrett or T.J. Watt, who would you take?
Myles Garrett.
Every day of the week. Yet Mike Tomlin finds a way to make T.J. Watt an offensive wrecker.
Yeah.
Again,
your point.
I sit there and watch the Browns playing mediocre quarterbacks and figure, why can't they figure a way to allow Myles Garrett
even if the other
to
teams
wreck
double,
the offense?
if the other teams double team him, he still has to find. Then somebody else comes free.
Yeah,
and you don't see that.
No, they're not getting after it. I don't think it doesn't appear that there is a concerted effort to get in the backfield and just destroy the other offense.
Or the offensive line is not very good. Or defensive line is not very good.
Yeah, but you look at it individually, and individually,
they should be.
They're greater. You don't want it where the individual parts are greater than the whole, and that's what you have.
Okay, had the game been played last night, phenomenally cold out there, windy, not so bad for a winter game in Cleveland tonight.
It isn't tonight, and it
shouldn't be a factor.
And it's Pittsburgh anyway. They're used to it. They practice in it just like the Browns do.
You know what they need? The Browns need that they haven't had all season. The special teams. Now, the kicking has been terrific. Mm-hmm. The punting and place kicking. They got to find a way to get a long run back. They got to get a way to big loss when they punt the ball. Something. They don't seem to get those.
No, they really don't. And they do have speed. They do have playmakers, but their special teams it's been significantly better than last year.
Well, they haven't turned it over.
Right.
And they've made every field goal. That's good.
And the coverage has been pretty good.
Coverage pretty good. Not bad. It just seems to me they ought to just let the ball roll into the end zone, take it at the 25 because you're not getting past the 25.
No, honestly, yeah. I mean, It doesn't make any sense. And that defense, you thought the defense, you heard Steve Wilkes, aggressive, get after it.
Have you seen that?
I haven't seen it. Haven't seen it at all.
Well, maybe when he looks at the talent, maybe he knows he can't do it.
Why?
I don't know. I'll ask another question about Wilkes. My understanding is when there was the clock was counting down to the end of the third quarter, and the Browns, with 3 seconds left on the play clock, called a timeout, and they said it was Wilkes who called it. Why? I'm not saying it's a fireable offense, but why would you call that if Buffalo's not going to go for anything on third down? Why would you call a timeout with 3 seconds on the play clock and they're still in the huddle?
Unless you didn't like the personnel that was out there.
They're not running a play anyway.
I don't know.
Do you think Freddie is overly doing stuff that maybe a coach who has more confidence in what he's doing wouldn't be doing? You think Freddie is overdoing it as far as trick stuff?
No,
being cute?
No. You know what? I'd prefer to see more of it. To be honest with you, I think the offense is pretty predictable. I think that's one of the problems. I think last year when he took over play calling, you saw some innovation, you saw some different things.
A wishbone.
I don't see that. I don't see any of it. Now,
well, does that show up when they can't get the ball from the 10-yard line in? Can't get the score?
I just think that is you're kidding yourself with who you are. I think too many times
NFL teams got to score from 1 yard out.
Oh, absolutely. And if you don't, if it's the first week of the season or the first 3 or 4 weeks I get it. At this point in time, if you don't know that you can't run somebody over because your offensive line is not going to move the defensive line off the line of scrimmage, you're kidding yourself. This team has not moved anybody off the line of scrimmage.
All right, 2 things. How about you've got Baker-Mayfield lined up behind center, and you don't have Nick-Chubb in the backfield? You know it's got to be a quarterback sneak, right? What else can it be?
Yeah. And again, my question to that is, why you quarterback sneaking up the middle with a guy who's 6 foot?
No idea.
He's a pretty good athlete. Get him out on the corner. Give him an option.
I don't know.
It doesn't make sense what they're trying to do. It's almost like, well, good teams are able to run the ball in straight ahead from the 2-yard line. You don't have the personnel.
And by the way,
that.
You don't have to be cute on first down when you're there.
No. But again, all their pass plays until last week, they finally started to throw into the corner of the end zone. 2 pass interferences for Beckham, the touchdown.
Yeah. They're begging you to score.
To Higgins is in the corner.
Yeah.
It's not like the receiving core that you had last year. You know, there weren't elite, fast twitch athletes. You've got them now. Use them.
No gimmicks, no deceiving blowout sales, no typical retail nonsense. That's at Northeast Factory Direct. Just three huge bare-bone warehouses filled with some of the same stuff you'll find at a number of stores, except there's one significant difference. You're going to pay half price or less at Northeast Factory Direct. Check them out, northeastfactorydirect.com, or West 140th Street in Cleveland. B&B Appliance Building, that's in Euclid, and the Freeway Drive Store in Macedonia. Check them all out at northeastfactorydirect.com. Dave Bacon and I return in a moment. Can the Browns still make the playoffs? Sokolowski's University Inn. No place better than that. Dave, I haven't been there since this afternoon.
There you go.
I know I should have brought stuff back.
And what did you have?
I had, they have a special thing they make up for More Sports and Les-Levine. I can't give away the secret ingredients, but it's fantastic. Sokolowski's University Inn, located in Tremont, established in 1923, makes them Cleveland's oldest family-owned and operated restaurant. The winner of the James Beard Foundation Award, only 5 in the country make that each and every year. We'll talk about the Browns and their chance to make the playoffs at 3 and 6. Dave Bacon with us. More Sports and Les-Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
I had an epoxy-based sand paint on my floor that deteriorated, and that's why I called Nature Stone.
Why paint? It's expensive, it's ugly, and it doesn't last. Nature Stone is always affordable. It's beautiful, and with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your garage floor again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of November and save up to half off. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just a mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Presque Isle Downton Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downton Casino.
Let's take a look at this date in Les-Levine history. Les has been known to keep audiences in stitches, but after an accident last week, it was the doctors who left Les in stitches. You don't think I just grew a beard just for the heck of it, do you? Let's take a look. Are we going to look at the week in review? There you have it. November 11th, week in review. Les is involved in an accident. His 11 coworkers sent him a get well soon card by a vote of 6-5. Then we move on to another date in history. On his birthday, Les gets cut trying to walk on the Ohio State baseball team, Dave. Les claims the coach couldn't recognize talent. That year, the Buckeyes won the NCAA tournament for the first and only time. But they would have won by more.
Stick to it.
November 13th, 1975, Les worked for an Akron radio station. He gets a haircut instead of going to lunch. And when he gets back to the station, the owner looks him up and looks at his hair and said, well, it grew on company time. Absolute true story. Not one based on truth, absolute true story. 216-575-0403 if you'd like to get in on the action. So, we asked the question, teams that have started 3-6, can they get to the playoffs or have they gotten to the playoffs? Let's take a look at it, see what we've got. 94 Patriots, they lost to the Browns in that game. Drew Bledsoe was the quarterback. Vinny Testaverde for the Browns. 1995 Lions went 10-6 on a finish. Jaguars 9-7 in 96. And then the Redskins in 2012 went 10-6 also before losing to the Seahawks. So would you make a little wager at Presque Isle that the Browns will or won't make the playoffs?
I would go aren't going to make the playoffs. I certainly think the schedule is set up to do it, but there's nothing that shows me that they can sustain what they need to sustain, which is a pretty long winning streak.
Let's see if they can beat Pittsburgh and come back and do it to Miami.
Well, and I mean, it's set up for them to do that.
Yep.
But
no, they lost too many.
Yeah,
they lost too many in the beginning.
It's too drastic of a turnaround. They have to do the little things right, and it's the little things that are biting them.
All right, so the NFL made some news yesterday. They said Colin Kaepernick will get a tryout in Atlanta on a Saturday. Well, that's fine, except for one thing. Most of the key decision makers are watching college football games on Saturday afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not a real fair chance.
Or preparing their NFL
Or preparing,
teams.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, you know who's running the workout?
I'll let you.
Just in case you don't think he's getting a fair shake, he'll be able to work with Hugh Jackson on this in Atlanta. What are they thinking?
Well, they needed a guy who had some NFL ties and had a lot of time on Saturdays.
And went 0-16 and 1-15.
Hey, you know what? Think about it. He'll have the opportunity to say the ground moved, or there will be some ridiculous anecdote about how good Colin Kaepernick. He's the hype man. He is the NFL's hype man for Colin Kaepernick's workout. Think about it.
Yeah, no question about that.
RG3, the ground moved.
Huh? Yeah. Okay, I don't want to get into that. I do want to get into the voicemail of Truth and Reason. Mark checked in from North Olmsted. Let's listen to what Mark had to say.
Hi, Les. This is Mark from North Olmsted. I wanted to comment on Baker's recent comments about his issue with the Browns fans cheering for their team. He sees this as hurting our otherwise unstoppable goal line offense. Does anyone else remember last year's Baker vocally chiding and shaming the local fan base to turn out for the last home game rather than having empty seats?
Well, here's the other thing.
Exactly what would be his perfect scenario, a packed house that sits quietly on its collective hands. That being said, I was really hoping that this year our team would finally be good enough not to just win when things go perfect, but do what truly competitive teams do, to find a way to win with bad or questionable officiating in the hardship of two vocal fans cheering for you. Our franchise quarterback, one would hope, should not have to use this as reasons we struggle.
Yeah, absolutely right.
I hope the Browns win tonight. Take care.
Okay, did you notice what this veteran of broadcasting did? I tried to argue with the tape. I would have won that argument if they let me continue it.
You've been married for a while, so you know what that's like.
I do.
Married guys know what that's like.
Yeah, that's why I didn't give it a second thought. First of all, the cheering or not cheering. If you don't, I always, in watching football over the 100 years that I've watched it, if you want your fans to be quiet, somebody on your line, probably the captain of the line or offensive captain, goes something like this: "Hey, keep it down, guys!" Right? The fans understand what that means. And secondly, don't have them put stuff on the scoreboard saying "cheer louder, louder."
You know, the cynical guy in me would say, Baker, if you give them a football team that plays winning football, it's been a while here in Cleveland, so the fans really aren't used to.
Yeah, we don't understand.
It's been a while. It's been a long while since the fans have had a winning team to watch in that stadium.
All right, so what do you do?
So give them some winning football, and they'll remember.
All right, so what do you do? Do you just say Baker's being Baker, and we should just suck it up, or does somebody educate him on what really should happen? I mean, if he wants it quiet, have a lineman tell people to be quiet.
Yeah,
and by the way,
he's got to know that.
And by the way, there was an awful lot of Buffalo Bills fans in that corner of the end zone making noise.
And
so how do you know?
There'll probably be an awful lot of Pittsburgh-Steelers fans in there tonight.
It's one of the great reasons why the wave should be banned from Major League Baseball, because you don't know if you're supposed to do it when your team is up or when it's in the field.
You know,
just ban it.
I get what he's saying, but nah. I understand the thought behind what he's saying, but nah. 3-6, you don't get to say that.
No, you don't.
You don't get to say that till you're a winning football team.
String a couple of wins together, especially at home.
And you know what? And you know what? You do that, fans will remember real quick when they're supposed to yell and when they're not supposed to yell.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Northfield Park is your home for live and simulcast racing. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, post time 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, 6:40 p.m. is the time. But they're open every day at about noon for simulcast action from the great tracks all over the world. Northfield, and chances on Sunday with the handicapping contest to win $500 in cash at Northfield Park, where it's free admission, free parking every day. We'll come on back in a moment. We'll listen in to some of your How Come Quickies. We're going to put Dave to the test to see if he can grade them for us. More Sports and Les-levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
We had a horrible storm that flooded our basement.
We had to take out that nasty moldy carpet.
And we never want to have to go through that again. That's when we called Nature Stone.
And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your basement flooring again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of November and save up to half off. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen, for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget, Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students, kindergarten through 12th grade, can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/more-sports-and-les-levine, with new content posted each and every day. We also have the voicemail of Truth and Reason. We had a couple on tonight. 216-200-6650. Call anytime, leave a message, and we'll use the better ones on a future show from More Sports and Les-Levine. Dave Bacon with us. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for letting me join you, actually. But did a great job, as always, and we appreciate what you did last week. All right, How Come Quickies? You ready to give grades?
Okay.
You can have decimal points. You can do anything you want. This is from John in Ashtabula with a couple of How Come Quickies. I knew that. He didn't have to tell me that. I know they're How Come Quickies. How come the puppeteer needed to pull strings to become famous?
We'll give that a 9.0.
Oh, you're an easy grader.
I'm an easy grader. But you know what? I'm easy up to like 9.5.
Okay, because this one's better. How come skating on thin ice can get you into hot water?
We'll go 9.5.
9.5. Okay.
You got to get above 9.5. It's pretty tough, though. I'm going to tell you right now.
All right. Mitch from Kent says, how come when stuffing a turkey, remember, a hand in the bird is worth 2 fists of giblets? 2, if it's a penny for your thoughts, on second thought, must be worth 2 cents. How come do distilled waters run just as deep? It took him 3 to get to one that's usable.
Those are confusing.
Those are confusing, so that's
Then we gotta
in
go
the 7 or 8 range.
Yeah, all right, we'll go 8.5.
Mr. Gullible comes in today.
All right.
How come my girlfriend works at the zoo? I think she's a keeper.
That's a 9.5. 9.5.
That is a good one.
We'll go 9.6.
All right. How come rabbits go to IHOP for breakfast? A good night. Mr. Gullible, a little late coming in under the wire, but he did well. John Patrick might be beating him on this one. How come last summer was terrible for Humpty Dumpty, but he had a great fall?
We'll go 9.6 on that.
That's whatever it is. It's the winner for the night. Of course, he only came up with 1. Mr. Gullible tempts fate with 2.
They were good.
We appreciate all of them. All right, you got a final comment or 2 or 3?
You've heard my irritation and aggravation with the Browns.
I'll hear it again.
I actually think they're going to win.
I do too.
I base that only on, at some point in time, they have to put the thing together. There's way too much talent, and I know people hate that word, but there's way too much talent for them to be playing the way they are and for them to be 3-6.
All right, so I think they can get up by 2 scores either because of the running game or the wide receivers, and I don't think that Mason-Rudolph can do the same in a comeback situation.
No, well, the one thing that concerns me with Browns is, are they going to is their offensive line just going to run over them? And it's one of the frustrating things about this team. They've changed coordinators, they've changed philosophy. They're by and large playing 2 linebackers, 5 defensive back, and it's still the same issues. They're not filling the run gaps where they're supposed to.
Well, is it because that's why those offensive coordinators or line coaches, they're available all the time?
I don't know. It's.
Wouldn't you like to see guys here 2, 3, 4 years at a time?
Yeah, I just don't understand. You've changed a lot, and it's the same thing that's beating you. It's power running and tight ends in the middle of the field.
Okay, if they win the game tonight, what tomorrow morning we will say this is why they won the game?
Nick-Chubb and Kareem-Hunt, I think, and the defense. The defense is due to come up and really shut someone down. Myles Garrett is due to have a crazy game.
Right.
And you know what? A couple of those other linemen have been a little bit invisible.
Do you like Thursday night games?
I don't like them at all.
I don't like them at all.
I like watching them. As a guy that watches them a lot, by and large, running backs usually carry a team. That's one of the reasons I think the Browns may win because, Connor is still banged up a little bit. Samuel isn't the greatest.
Right.
You don't really have time to be game plan specific, especially in the passing game. So it's usually run dominated.
No, but you've been waiting.
Offense.
You've been waiting all season for this last week and this week with as far as Kareem-Hunt is concerned. So they should have something in the works.
Yeah, but you can't really.
You can't
work
practice it.
Yeah, you can't work it into the offensive flow. I'm surprised at how complete, and I know it's only one game. Kareem Hunt looked like everything you would want in a running back in one game. He
How
was
about blocking?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
He's blocking. They were using him as a slot receiver. He can run. He led the NFL in rushing in 2017. Right. Yeah, I think you want him and you want Chubb in the backfield together.
Your thought on the release of Callaway?
I would, anybody that watches this show knows I did not like Antonio Callaway. I thought he was good for one thing, run deep, and I'll throw it to you. I think they fell in love with the measurables. And
I think you made a great point earlier, not on the air, and that is that a guy like him, if it's Bill Belichick, he waits till all your guys are taken, and then he fills in with a guy like that. He doesn't start with a guy like that.
No, and the thing that is aggravating and somewhat frustrating is suspended for 4 games, so Higgins was going to be your number 3 receiver. Higgins had the chemistry with Baker-Mayfield, and they couldn't. I know he got hurt, but then they kept throwing to Callaway.
Yeah,
and it was like this guy.
And he cost you a game.
Yeah, the interception that was returned for a touchdown against San Francisco, late out of a break. I know the ball wasn't thrown. It wasn't thrown on target. It's a timing pattern. He was late out of his break.
Speaking of late, how are you late to an NFL game?
You know what?
Shouldn't the whole team be late on the bus?
Well, apparently they stay in a hotel. They allow them to go. But it's a valet. They park under the stadium. And then he parked in the wrong lot.
It left one more space for me.
He parked in the wrong lot. How do you park in the wrong lot? You go down and it's a player's lot. Hi, I'm into.
Well, I went last time. I just went in, showed him a pass, and said, "I'll take Mr. Callaway's space, please."
How do you?
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm baffled by things like this.
Yeah, and so. Yes, he should have been released. He probably should have been released last week.
I mean, as a guy who, as you now know, got cut trying to be a walk-on in baseball, you do anything. Guys like us and you and me, we do anything to be able to play at that level in any sport.
Yep.
And they just whatever.
But you know what? I worked in Florida for a while, and the people that I know that covered Callaway, when he was doing well, even said, "Just wait."
Well,
just wait.
At least we don't have to wait the whole season.
Yeah, they knew. It was a matter of for people that knew him, when, not if, he was going to wear out as well.
All right, that'll do it for us. Great job by Dave Bacon sitting in tonight for Hoynesy. On Monday night, Jim Ingram will join us, and let's see what else. Doug Maurice is covering Ohio State next week. Hopefully, they win by 70, 80. How many do you think?
As many as they want.
As many.
It's
name
their
it,
name, their price tool.
Bud Shaw here on Tuesday, the D-Man Dennis Maniloff on Thursday, then it'll be Hoynesy on Thursday. That'll do it for us. Of all the shows I've ever done, this was the most recent.